Welcome to a new part of the ISM Statistics 1 exercise set, this time with an exercise on Boxplots and Quantiles. Let's take a look at the exercise. Calculate based on the following data sets the first quartile as well as the 17% and the 72% percentile. And we have the different data sets. All in all, it's 6 data sets of differing sizes, and let's start working our way through them. Start with the first one, so we take the data set 1, and first we arrange this in an ascending fashion. After we've done this, we start calculating the first part, the 25% percentile, which is more or less the first quartile. How do we go about this? Well, if it's the 25% percentile, we can just multiply 25% with the amount of data points. So here we have 10 data points, 10 observations. So we go multiply this, get as a result 2.5. Then we round up to the next integer, the next highest integer, which is 3. And the third position in our data set, in the ordered data set, then gives us the first quartile. In this case, it's a 300, because this is the one at the third position. Then we go on with the second part, the 17% percentile. So here we do the same thing, but we multiply 10 with 17%, get 1.7. The next highest integer being 2, so we have 250 as the second position in the data set. Finally, we have the 72 percentile. Here we multiply 10 with 72%, get 7.2, the next highest integer being 8, so we look at the 8th position, and there we get the 600. And we carry on directly with the next, with data set B. Again, we first take the data set and order the data set in an ascending way. And afterwards, we do basically exactly the same again. First off, we considered here we have only 9 observations. So what we do here for the first quartile, we multiply 25% with 9, get 2.25. Round it up to the next integer, this is being 3, so we check the third position in the ordered set, and there we get 53. For the 17% percentile, we multiply 9 with 0.17, 17%. We get as a result 1.53, rounded up to the next integer, that's 2, so here we get the value 51. Finally, for the 72% percentile, we multiply 9 with 72%, get 6.48, rounded up it's 7, so at the 7th position we have 82 as the 72% percentile. Then we get to the third part. Again, we consider the data set, arrange the data set in an ascending fashion, and start with the first quartile. Here we can check, we have again 10 observations, so we multiply 25% with 10, get 2.5, rounded up, this gets us 3, so at the third position we have 8.5, so 8.5 is the first quartile. Similarly, with the 17% percentile, we multiply 17% with 10, get 1.7, rounded up, that's 2, and at the second position we have 1.8. Finally, the 72 percentile, multiply 0.72 with 10, get 7.2, rounded up it's 8, and at the 8th position we find 74.3, giving us the 72% percentile. This has been like the first half of the exercise. Part D, well, nothing changes so much. We have the data set. We order the data set in ascending order. Start with the first quartile. let's first check. Here we again have 10 observations. So again, we go with 25% times 10, 2.5, rounded up as 3. At the third position, we find the 2. For the 17% percentile, we multiply the 10 with 17%, have 1.7, rounded up as 2. So at the second position, we find a 0. And for the 72% percentile, we multiply the 72% with 10, have again 7.2, rounded up as 8. At the 8th position, one can find the 12. Then we're at the 5th part, part E. Again, take the data set, order the data set in an ascending fashion, and consider first the first quartile. Here, again, we have only 9 observations, so we calculate 0.25 times 9, giving us 2.25, rounded up, this goes to 3, and at the third position we find 0. Then, with the 17% percentile, well, we could do the same calculation, but we know the 25% percentile is already 0. This is the lowest number, so here the 17% percentile also needs to be 0. And, well, we have to do some calculations for the 72% percentile. Here we calculate 0.72 times 9, giving us 6.48. Rounded up, this is 7, and at the 7th position we find the 400. Then we get to the 6th and final part of this exercise. Again, the same idea. We take the data set, we order the data set in ascending fashion, get this part, start with the 25% percentile or the first quartile. Here, now we have 11 observations, so we multiply the 25% with 11, get 2.75, rounded up, this gives 3, so at the third position we have the 200. Again, basically we do not have to check for the 17% percentile because the 200 is the lowest number, so here we will also get 200. But well, if we calculate this, 17% times 11 gives us 1.87, rounded up is 2, and well, at the second position we have again the 200. The only thing new is the 72% percentile. We multiply the 72% with 11, get 7.92, rounded up it's 8, and at the 8th position we have 270. This then concludes the 6th and final part of this exercise, and thus the total exercise. I hope all of you enjoyed listening to this exercise and took something away from it. Well, until next time, have fun and see you.